Amara lived the kind of life most people would call normal. She had a job, a few friends, a routine that repeated itself so often she could predict her entire week by Tuesday. Every morning began the same way. Her alarm would ring. She would snooze it twice, scroll through her phone, compare her life to people who seemed happier, richer, more fulfilled. And then she would sigh and say quietly to herself, maybe one day things will change. Amara wasn't lazy. She had dreams, big ones. She once wanted to start a small business. She once wanted to speak confidently in rooms full of people. She once believed she deserved real love, but somewhere along the way fear became louder than hope. What if I fail? What if people laugh? What if I'm not good enough? So instead of trying, she waited. Years passed like this. Opportunities came and quietly left. People entered her life and slowly drifted away. Ideas came to her mind and died there. One evening, after a long, exhausting day where nothing seemed to go right, Amara lay on her bed staring at the ceiling. Her chest felt heavy. Not from pain, but from something harder to explain, regret mixed with confusion. She whispered into the silence, "Why does it feel like life is passing me by?" That night, she fell into a deep, unusual sleep. When she opened her eyes again, she wasn't in her room. She was standing in front of a massive door, tall, ancient, silent. Carved into it were the words, "Everything you ever asked for." Her heart began to race. Slowly, carefully, she pushed the door open. Inside was a room so vast it seemed endless. Boxes filled every corner, stacked to the ceiling, lined across the floor. Some were small and simple. Others were large and glowing faintly as if they held something powerful. Each one had a label. Amara stepped forward. Her breath slowed as she reached for the nearest box. Her name was written clearly on it. Underneath it read, "Confidence, age 22." Her fingers trembled as she opened it. Inside, nothing, just emptiness, a hollow silence. Confused, she grabbed another. "Business opportunity, age 25." She tore it open. Empty. Another one. "True love, age 27." Her hands shook harder now. She opened it, empty. "No, this doesn't make sense," she whispered. Her voice echoed across the endless room. She began moving faster, opening more boxes. Leadership opportunity, age 24, empty. Creative idea, age 26, empty. Second chance, age 28, empty. Her breathing became heavy. Her chest tightened. She started running, opening box after box after box. Each one carrying something she once prayed for, each one empty. Tears began to stream down her face. "WHYRETHEYLLEMPTY," she cried out. Her voice broke through the silence. And then a calm voice answered from behind her. "They were never empty." Amara froze. Slowly she turned. An old woman stood there, peaceful, still, watching her. Amara rushed toward her. "No, that's not true. Look around. These are my dreams, my chances, everything I ever wanted, and they're all gone." The old woman didn't argue. She simply walked to one of the open boxes. She gently picked it up and turned it slightly. "There's more written here," she said. Amara leaned closer and saw the smaller text beneath the label. Her heart sank as she read. "Confidence, delivered as a chance to speak but avoided." Her mind flashed back. A moment years ago when she had the chance to stand up and share her ideas, but she stayed silent. The old woman picked another box. "Business opportunity, delivered as a risky idea but ignored." Another memory hit her. A friend once invited her into a small startup idea. She had doubted herself, said maybe later. Later never came. Another box. "True love, delivered as a person but pushed away due to fear." Amara's knees weakened. She remembered him, kind, patient, but she kept overthinking, questioning, running until he left. "No," she whispered, tears falling freely now. "I didn't know," the old woman nodded gently. "Most people don't." She looked around the endless room. "These are not gifts waiting to be opened," she said softly. "They are moments that were meant to be lived." Amara fell to her knees, her voice trembling. "All this time, I thought life wasn't giving me anything." The old woman stepped closer. "Life gave you everything," she said. "You just didn't recognize it because it didn't look the way you expected." Silence filled the room, heavy, honest. Amara looked around again, but this time she didn't see empty boxes. She saw missed chances, unlived moments, decisions she avoided. "Can I go back?" she asked quietly, her voice barely above a whisper. "Can I try again?" The old woman looked at her for a long moment. Then she asked, "Are you still alive?" Suddenly, Amara woke up, gasping. Back in her room, morning light pouring through the window, her heart was still racing, but something had changed. Her phone buzzed beside her. She picked it up, a message, an invitation, a small opportunity. The kind she would normally ignore or postpone. She stared at it, longer than usual, thinking. Then she remembered the room, the boxes, the truth. This time, she didn't hesitate. She sat up, took a deep breath, and said quietly to herself, "Maybe this is one of them." And for the first time in years, she chose differently. Moral of the story: life rarely hands you success in perfect, comfortable packages. It shows up as risk, as fear, as uncomfortable opportunities. Recognize them, or one day they'll look like empty boxes.